Peace. Peace, y'all. It's your boy Sab. Let me close the window. Hold on 1 second. Peace, y'all. It's your boy Sav, and I'm back, and we here to stream a couple of things, talk about a couple of things. And that's how it goes. So, first thing I want to talk about, just to talk about it, Nico Harrison, Dallas Mavericks of the GM of the Dallas Mavericks got fired, which he should have been fired because he traded Luka. Now, I also believe that some of this is favors. Like, it didn't look good with the upper management. I'm pretty sure he gonna get some type of favor on the back end for trading him to the Lakers or something. That's what I think might happen, but it might not happen. He might have just got fleeced. It might have just been that way. But so he got fired, and now they talking about doing a trade for AD to the Clippers, and what they're gonna bring back for AD was even worse. So it's a good thing that they got fired, and now the new GM gonna trade AD to the Clippers, and they're gonna get back even worse picks. Talking about John Collins, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and like 3 first-round draft picks. Nah. You got to get Kawhi back. That's who you're supposed to get. But anyway, or James Harden or something. But that happened. Look, and also, I want to say this quickly. I do not argue with fools or children. The reason why I'm saying that is I got to talking to somebody, this is on Reddit, about we were talking about Angel Reese, and she says she can't live on $70K salary. I don't know what world, what America you live in. You think you can't live off a $70K salary. You don't want to live off a $70K salary. You're trying to spend it all and live way outside your means. So the other commenter was saying that, she could be a celebrity and get millions. It's like, that's fine. She's still a celebrity. She could still get millions. You start complaining about the WNBA isn't paying your bills and you making $70,000 a year. And she's probably making more than that because I don't even look up the WNBA rookie salary. But you making $70,000 a year. And it's not like you didn't make millions on your MIL endorsement. So that's probably where all her spending habits came from. Once she started making money in college, millions of dollars, she wasn't taught to manage your money wisely. And also she's 21, 22, we get it. You spend crazy stuff, but there's also a 21, 22-year-old in the name of Kawhi that, well, now he's not 21, 22, but he was driving the same truck all through college, all through his time in San Antonio. Like, he still drives the same truck he got in LA. He may have other cars, but that car is paid off. It still works. He still drive it. So it's really on you as a person, and that's why that's happening. So, but anyway, I'm talking to other commentator, and he's saying that, she's on a rookie deal. She can't apply for a better basketball job. Nobody said that. Nobody said anything like that. I said, you must, I told him on my comment, you must be a child or a fool. I don't know which one you are, but if you think you can't live off of $70K out here, you're wrong. And then you're complaining. I know families that live off of far less and make it work. So she's getting $70K. She could be doing really well. This fool gonna comment back, if you had your choice to live off of $70K or $2 million plus, which one would you do? If I had my choice to live off of $70K or $2 million plus, I'm living off the $70K. And I'm going to still get the $2 million plus to come in, and I'm going to put that shit to the side. And I'm going to let it grow, and I'm going to let it expand. Because that's how you save wealth. That's how you build wealth. If you live off of your $2 million coming in, you're going to think $2 million is always going to come in. And when $2 million stop coming in, you're going to go broke really fast. That's what happens in the NBA. That's what happens to NBA players that go broke really fast. That's what happens to the WNBA players that's going to go broke really fast. What happened to all these sports, football players as well. They get $2 million contract. And let's not even say 2 million. They get a $10 million contract and they think, oh, I'm big balling now. I mean, well, you got that $10 million contract for 4 years. You break it down, 10 million in 4 years. What is that? What is that? 3 million a year? And close to 369. A little under 3 million a year, right? So then you set up your bills to where you believe that, okay, this money coming in, I got it, I can afford it. 2 million, you paying all that 2 million going out, 2 million going out. Once you don't get that next contract, or that next contract is lower, that's why people say shit like Spreewell, one of my favorite players. They offer him a contract. He was like, that's not enough to feed my family. What are you talking about? It's millions of dollars. That's because you had this spending habit, because the endorsement deals were coming in, this was coming in, and now you don't have that anymore. So now you done lost all that money. Now you need more money to come back in and recoup it. No, that's a fool right there saying that. Yeah, would you rather live off of? I'd rather live off the 70K, have my bills be 70K, and when that 2 million come in, them extra endorsement deals come in, then I can save that. I can put that to where I need that, but I'm not spending that. I'm not making my bills 2 million plus so that I always need 2 million plus. That's unrealistic. But anyway, that's how I think. And a lot of people don't think like me, and that's why a lot of people in debt. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not in debt the way other people are. People are in tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt. I owe maybe like $600. To be honest, and I got a bill right here. It says I owe them $20. Because so anyway, and like maybe like $600. I like to keep it transparent. I have no issues with that. A couple of credit cards. Not even a couple of credit cards. One credit card, I need to, put some money on that. And then something else from last year or 2 years ago, it was like 200 or 300. And then I need to pay that. And then I'll be back to not owing nobody shit. But, if you can, that's how children think. If you could live off of 70K or 2 million, you don't think about all the shit that goes into it. Not even just 2 million. So let's say you go get a house. Let's say you go get a nice house, $500,000 house. Maintenance costs to keep up this house. Stuff gets broken in the house, you gotta fix. Then you gotta pay the mortgage every month. Let's say you got kids too. You got to get them something. You got to get them clothes and everything. They're like, hey, Dad, we're living like this. We don't want to just get the regular stuff. So you're like, this is my kids. I got to have them decked out too. Well, that's another bill gone. Then let's say they get sick and you got to pay for their medical bills. Well, that's also something else you got to pay for. People don't think about that. The food, you got to pay for that. Now, let's say you got a big house like that. People usually don't have a big house like that and don't have a maid. They usually have some type of maid there. You got to pay them people. Then you got to pay, maybe have a chef. You got to pay that because, these athletes, they may not be able to know how to cook their own meals. So that's already up to, we started with a $500,000 house and we factor in everything else. Let's say that's another $7,500,000, right? So we up to 1.2 mil. Then, because athletes go out and spend and everything and do their thing. So you're going to take trips to wherever you're going to take trips to. You're going to spend whatever you want to spend to. That's before you thought about cars. We didn't even talk about cars and car notes. There you go. You get you a couple of cars, some car notes. That 2 million is gone already. So it's a no-brainer for me. If I'm making 2 million, I'm trying to live off of the 70K. In fact, I know a millionaire right now, millions in his bank account. On his taxes, what he lives off of is $50,000. $50,000. In fact, it used to be $70,000 and he got it down to $50,000. Like, if you got all that money like that, you got to get a good loophole. You got to know how to use it. You got to get a good lawyer, and people get mad at them because they use the loophole, but you can use the loophole too. They use it doesn't mean you can't use it. You can find a loophole for you. But yeah, nah. Once that millionaire told me that, and when I say millionaire, verified millionaire, I've seen his houses, I've seen all his cars. Look, I know he living good, and we was talking about it a long time, and we was talking about it with other people. It was a whole debate where we was talking about how millionaires don't pay taxes the way millionaires don't really pay taxes and stuff like that. And it was going back and forth. It's a few months ago. This is back in the summertime, with a lady. She was also I don't know if she was a millionaire, but she also made a lot of money, like upper. I would say over 500,000 upper. Like she was doing her thing. So could be a million. I don't know. But anyway, I remember I was going back and forth with her. I was like, you guys don't really pay taxes like us working class pay taxes. And she's like, no, we get taxed the most. We pay the most. That's blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's true. But it's not the same as a working class citizen getting taxed. She's like, no, you're wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Finally, the brother came over because he heard us talking. And he was like, well, he's not wrong, because the difference between us and him is what we go get taxed. I can go pull that money out of another bank or some offshore account or some assets that I got. He doesn't have that money to pull out of some assets. He just got taxed for that, and he screwed over, And then she was like, once the other brother came over, then she was like, oh, okay, now I see what you say. So that's the problem. That's why you don't argue with fools or children, because then she want to be like, oh, okay, I see. But when I was saying that same thing to you, because maybe I'm younger or whatever it is, you didn't want to. But now this other dude came over. He said the exact same thing. Look, y'all can pull that shit out of assets. He said it straight like that. He was like, hey, he said it straight like that. Hey, the $70,000 that I'm getting taxed a year, I'm trying to get it down to $50,000. But it don't even matter what they tax me, because I can go pull that money out of some assets that he doesn't have. That's all I'm saying. Y'all don't get taxed the same way that we get taxed. It may be a lot. I get it. Y'all pay most of the taxes, the top 1%. Get it. But y'all also got them assets where you can pull that money out of. So it's different, me getting taxed in my check versus you guys getting taxed in your check. That's all I'm saying. And that's still a valid point. Anyway, let's get on to the videos. Let's see what I got today. We talked about body cams. Oh, that Fresh and Fit is gay song is hilarious. That Red Pill is Gay song by Abba and Preach is hilarious. Go check that out. They need to put it out. All right. I'm looking down at food and stuff. Let's go to the watch later. In fact, one of these videos I don't even think I have in the watch later. I'm about to type it in myself. Let's see. Well, it's not in this account. Don't ask me why I got so many accounts. I'm weird. And the crazy part is I use them all. Use them all for different shit. Usually don't look at the same videos on the same account. But anyway, it's loading. All right. This was crazy. Let's start with this. Taking this time. All right, pause that for a second. Okay, now, before I play the video, just want to give a little backstory. Kid steals a car, because I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to play a portion of it. Kid steals a car. He's 15 years old. Steals the car. He runs somebody over. The one lady jumped out the way. The other dude tried to stop him from taking the car and jumped in front of the car and got ran over. Thankfully, he didn't die, just minor injuries. But I'm happy the cop told him, because I would have told him, you stupid. But I'm happy the cop told him, hey, man, your life is more important than a car. I get it. Whatever, that's your car. You need your car and stuff like that. But your life, you can't get back. You can get another car. That's it. He said that. He said it just like that. That's how I was always taught. Hey, somebody take the car, fuck it. Call the insurance, man. Call, please get a police report. We get another car, whatever. I'm not jumping in front of you or anything like that to stop you for a fucking car. I'm good. I'm good off of that. All that material shit, you know, my life is the most important thing. I can make money again and get another car. It's not that hard. I got a car the first time, I can get a car a second time. But anyway, stole the car. Cops hit the light. He take off on the cops. It's only about a minute chase, if that. He's just flying down the street. He goes airborne, runs smack into a house, right? Thank God that no occupants, well, one occupant of the house died. It was not a person, it was a dog. It was her 13-year-old dog that died. You know, they said he suffered multiple fractures. The other two dogs were still alive. They were good, no injuries. The husband and wife, no injuries, and the son wasn't there. So that's a blessing right there. You know, that the only person that got hurt was the dog, at least, even for his stupid ass. Because if you'd have killed one of them people, you never getting out. I don't care if you're 15 or not. You're not getting out, especially in the state of Florida. But so he takes off on the cop, goes airborne. Cop pulls him out the car, everything. The one thing I don't like about the response is it took them a little bit too long to go inside. For me, I would have been, if I was the cop, I would have put him in handcuffs, put him in the car. You know, you got to search him, right? Search him, whatever. Put him in the car, and then I'm going to the house to go help out if there weren't other officers there. They just seemed like, looking at the body camera, they took a little bit too long to go in the house. They keep asking people, are they in there? Are you okay? And they keep saying, no, we're not okay. And it just took them a long time to go in the house for me. But anyway, we and also no, I'm not gonna make that point right now. But we so they put him in the car. They put him in the car, and the one officer that arrested him asked him how old you are, 15, right? So I guess he done already told other people that he's 15 because people are speculating like he's 15 and stuff like that. All of them white officers. And I'll say why that matters in a second. Because one officer comes by, he didn't hear the other officer say, he looks in the car with his flashlight. He's like, oh, damn, that's a juvenile, right? Clearly off rip, that's a juvenile. Says it. The other ones are like, no, he looked like he's an adult. He looked like he's an adult. Then the cop that also shined the light in there actually go ask him, man, how old are you? He said 15. So he's like, man, I just asked him. He's 15. He said 15. Nah, he looked 31. This is what they say in America, and not just America, probably in other places too, but definitely in America, when they say as a teenager, you look like a grown man to them. They do not see the youth in you. They already think you're a grown man, because there's no way I have ever mistaken a 15-year-old for a 31-year-old. No matter how tall you are, no matter how, in shape, and you got muscles and everything and shit like that, it don't matter. We can tell. You can tell a teenager from a 31-year-old. There's 31-year-olds that look youthful, that look really, really young for their age. It happens, genetics and stuff like that. But you can tell the difference. So that's the main reason these white officers have already demonized him to be an adult. They already were going to set him up to be an adult, and talking about, no, he's 31. He looked 31. And no way, if I'm going to play the video, there's no way this kid looked 31. Even I saw it was a juvenile when they pulled him out the car. He didn't look 31. I give you 18, 19. If you want to say 20, you could say that. 31? No, he didn't look 31. And these are also young white officers, because a couple of them said in the video that this was their first pursuit. So they just got on the job, and, they're young, and, white people don't give black people the benefit of the doubt anyway. They're going to already think that you look older than them. I've been through this when I was younger. I told the story how when I was 13, I was changing in the YMCA in the boys' locker room because I'm in the 9th grade and that's where we change at. And then when I come out, the white mom is like, what? There was a man in the locker room. There's a man in the locker room, goes to the fucking front desk, reports me, Said there's a man in the locker room with teenage boys. Call the police. The police come and see me. And they're like, hey, you were in the boys' locker room? I was like, yes. And it's like, what you doing in there? Blah, you ain't supposed to be in there. Let me see your ID. And it was like, all I got is my school ID. And it's like, your school ID? What school? It's like the high school up the street. It's like, you're in high school? It's like, I'm in 9th grade. It's like, what? It's like, yes, I'm in 9th grade. You know what I mean? I get it. I was 6'2" at the time, but I'm still in 9th grade. I'm still a child. I'm looking at it like, and then once they found out I was a child, they finally let it go. But, you know, in order for me to make sure that never happened again, I just went in the men's locker room from then on, you know, so that's how that went. But that did happen. That's even happened when I was younger than that. And people have told me, hey, you can't be out there playing with them and stuff like that. I was like, man, I'm 10. What are you talking about? Just because I'm 5'8", you know, 5'7", that does not make me you. So it doesn't matter. You know, they already look at you as a grown man when you have a certain hue to your skin, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna play the video because I didn't like that. And I just wanted people to see that this does actually happen if people think it doesn't happen. And I don't remember even when the part of the video was. It was after they took her out the house.
Right here. You sit down right here.
Yeah. If you don't have a job. A lot. This usually doesn't happen here. At first it was right here.
What are you gonna do, man? I'm just gonna run this. Yeah.
Was there any times? Okay. Who doesn't have a job?
With your eyes only. Do not move your head. Do you understand? Okay. Yes. Damn, I'm going to jail. Oh yeah, he come through the hallway. He was moving. The front of that car is crushed.
He was probably going at least 70 down here.
He hit the other dude too. He smacked 30 feet. Yeah, he's way down. Yeah, that's what. You need me?
It's past it.
He's 15.
There you go.
He's 15.
There you go, right here.
How appreciate anybody else?
He's 15, bro. He's 15. He's 15 years old? Yeah. You are? Yeah. Interesting. 15-year-old doing this? Definitely seems 31 induced. Absolutely.
That's that bullshit. Now I'm gonna go to his face. A better picture. Oh, that's his mom. His mom is horrible.
You said the keys were in the car?
This child does not look 31 at all. This child does not look 31 at all. And anybody that lies and says this guy looks 31, you're a fucking liar. And I'll take that with me. You know what I mean? I'll hold anybody on that. But this guy with no
Do you remember what
facial hair or anything like that, look all young. Look, does he look 31? Look at him in the fucking face. Does he look 31? You're bugging if you think he looks 31. At least 31. So that means you think he could be older than that. Well, nigga, I'm 33. So you could mistake me for a 15-year-old? What are we talking about here? You're a fucking idiot-ass cop.
And what happened with that person?
This guy looks 31? You're fucking kidding me. You're fucking kidding me. They got a picture of him in the car. Hey.
Jail for life. I'm going to jail for life.
Why? Because he got a chain? No,
I'm going to jail for life.
He's tweaking out right there.
I'm going to jail for life. Oh my God. I'm going to jail for life. I'm going to jail for life. I'm going to jail for life. Oh my God. Hey, damn.
There we go. Even though he's crying. Come on, bro. This dude don't look nothing like a 31-year-old. You can't lie to me and tell me he looked like a 31-year-old. Especially if they told you he's 15. You're talking about, damn, he seems at least 31. Shut the fuck up. That's an extra 15. That's extra 16 years you put on him. That's what I'm saying. When you're a certain hue, you're already an adult to them. You know, they say that about children also of a certain hue when they go into different schools, that they get punished a harsher rate because they're taken as to be older and shit like that, even though they're only 8 for whatever reason. So they're like, yo, you should know better and shit like that. They're 8-year-old kid, you know. But the reason why, before I go on to the next video, the reason why I say his mom is a fool, because one, my 15-year-old kid isn't going outside the house at 2 in.the morning. It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't know if the mom works overnight, but I'm not doing that. You're not leaving my house at 2 in.the morning. You're not sneaking out at 2 in.the morning. 15? Fuck no. We done already dead that in the bush. That's not happening. You got all the, and she ain't say nothing about a husband, but that's why 2 people need to be in the fucking household where one person's not there, the other person can be there. Don't work the same fucking hours. You know, that's how you make it work. You know, one person works during the day, one person works at night. Maybe one person works in the afternoon to night, and one person gets up early in the morning, works till the afternoon, something like that. You know, you make it work. You find help, you get it going. And 2 people is the best people to parent. But she came by, the first thing she said when the officer said he stole the car, she said, well, what was he on? And the officer's like, huh? And then she changed up. She was like, well, so he stole a car? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What was he driving? No. You said, what was he on? Which means, you know, your son does some crazy ass drugs. And she also said that this just happened a couple of months ago with her car, that he stole her car and wrecked it. That's a problem. That's a problem right there that you need to nip in the bud. And then she's going up to the window talking about, yeah, you know, I see funerals for you. I see funerals for you. I've been telling you that. Who the fuck tells that to their kid? Who the fuck tells that to their kid? You know, I see, I'm just preparing. I see you gonna die early. Who the fuck tells that to their kid? Even if he is into some wild shit, people don't tell that to their kids, you know. And I get some people have different parenting, but that is crazy, because who knows how long she's been saying that to him, because that leads to him going and wilding out. Because if my mom, who I'm supposed to love, comes there talking about, well, you know, you ain't like all the other kids, I already see you dying soon and funerals and shit, then all right, well, I'm gonna start looking differently. Instead of speaking positivity to me and being like, yeah, you messing up right now, but I know in the future you're gonna be great. I know in the future you're gonna do great things. You know, you gotta stop this. That's a whole totally different way of saying the same thing, but you're saying it a totally different way. That's why the mom. That's why the mom is horrible. But this kid don't look 31 at all here. I don't give a fuck what they say. You don't look 31 at all. Fuck them white officers. Now, if I could find a way to, go on to the next video. All right, looks like something coming up. So we probably gonna go to Steven Crowder. He had a little bit of a debate about illegals and why he believes all illegals should be deported. And it was a good debate for the most part. The last 2 people were solid. This first girl right here was the worst. I would not sit down with her at all. I would never sit down with that. You can't sit down and have a debate. There's 2 things. You can't have a debate with a person.
Well, what I mean is if you ask me my opinion and then I answer and you go.
Before he starts that up, you can't have a debate with a person that is going to, that when they come to the table and they sit down, they say, well, I can't change your mind and you're not going to change my mind. Then it's already a moot point. You're already at the end. There's nothing in between for us to come together and possibly see from the other side, because you already decided before you sat down that your mind was never going to be changed. So then we have nothing to talk about here. And Steven Crowder didn't say that. She said that. She said, I can't change your mind. You can't change my mind. He got a sign out there that says change my mind. He's asking if you got a valid point. I want to hear the valid point. Now, What I will say is there's a lot of things in some of the other ones that he was like, you know, I agree. That's a good point. That's a good reason. And then, you know, he got other rebuttal or different rebuttal. This first girl never answered a question. She answered one question, but every other question she didn't answer. And her whole reasoning for not answering the question was, I'm in social work. So we sit down and we try to figure out who the person is and why they feel this way. No. That's not why you come to the debate. I don't give a fuck who he is and why he feels this way. We're debating a topic. And we're talking about that topic. It has nothing to do with him as a person and why he feels that way. That's some weird ass shit. But anyway, I mean, her and the last guy, the dude in the middle, the Vietnamese guy, solid all the way through. He heard his side. Steven Crowder heard his side. Both of them came to an agreement on something. I don't remember exactly what it was, and the last guy was good too. He was good too. Here it came to the understanding. They had a lot of good understanding, a lot of good conversation. But she's a fucking Looney Tune. You hear me? She's an idiot. And they're in Oklahoma because they said OU on one of their shirts. So this is Oklahoma University. The Sooners. Man, they should make me the announcer for the Sooners. I'm doing that. The Oklahoma Sooners. That'd be fire.
You go, that's interesting. That sounds possessive. Or that sounds...
Well, yes, I think that...
Oh, yeah. The one thing she said that sounds possessive. And you know what I'm going to get into.
To the ordinary person, identifying your lady as my lady would sound possessive.
There you go. She said it. That's the stupidest shit in the world. Because what do you identify her as? And that's where I get it. That's her relationships. But every other relationship in the world, you get married to the girl, or you're dating the girl, you're gonna say, yeah, that's my girl. What are you talking about here? Yeah, that's my wife. What are you talking about here? Yeah, that's my lady. What are you talking about here? That's normal stuff. Women do it all the other time. On the other side, yeah, that's my boyfriend. Yeah, that's my man. You hear women say that all the time. My husband. Like, what are you talking about? It's yours. You guys are together. It's not possessive. You made a choice that you wanted to be with me, and we decided together that we wanted to get married, and we're in this relationship together. So yes, it's my. You hear people say my person. What are you talking about here? That's a simple concept that everybody could understand through the test of time. Because when you're in a relationship, which I believe that maybe she ain't never been in a relationship, or maybe if she had been in a relationship, that's why it didn't work, because that stupid ass comment right there. What am I supposed to address you as? What am I supposed to do? I'm not supposed to say you're my girl. I'm not supposed to say you're my wife. What fucking stupid ass shit are we talking about here? But anyway, let's move on.
But maybe that's a cultural norm that I'm not accustomed to.
Sure, I'm sure you're not. But is that relevant to the point in the answer? Because you interrupted.
Sassy.
You interrupted to say that offends me rather than listening. So do you?
How is he sassy? And we see that's the ad hominem attack right there. That's the attack when you have nothing else. Oh, you're sassy. Nope.
Do you not listen to people who come in and seek your social work the same way?
No, I promise I do.
Just
but
not here.
I came here to have a productive conversation, and usually when I encounter someone in my field, they're also looking to have a productive conversation. But the way that you throw in the little tidbits that are demeaning, the way you have very circular argument, and you throw stats, that's what makes me a little apprehensive to continue speaking with you.
Oklahoma University, home of the Sooners, and the location for the latest installment of Change My Mind, a series where we reason through our positions on controversial topics, which today is deport all illegals. That's right, all, and as you can imagine, it inspired some inspired acts.
See, that I don't agree with. I don't agree with that at all. Don't touch other people's property. Don't touch other people. In fact, I'm gonna say this on here because they banned my account on Reddit for a couple of days because they asked me not to do it, and then I did it again. So they banned my account on Reddit for a couple of days. That's all right. Fuck them. You know, there was a video on Reddit where a guy's walking down the street with a Trump hat, right? And and it was a lady at first in a higher pitched voice, was like, "You like Trump, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I like Trump." And then lady turned around, which wasn't a lady, ended up being a man wearing a dress, turned around and then started attacking him. Then started attacking this man, hitting him, doing all types of stuff on the street. But if he'd have pulled out a knife and stabbed your stupid ass, then he'd have been wrong. If he'd have pulled out a gun and shot you, then he'd have been wrong. But you're attacking this guy all on the street. And it's not like you're a lady. You're a full-blown man, because the voice switched and was deep as fuck during the middle of the video. "Hey, come here. You like Trump? No, you did blah, blah, blah." Don't touch other people. Don't touch me. And then these are the same people that say that they're the most attacked group, so they need to be protected the most. No, your transformer ass is out here pretending. And then when you see somebody that doesn't agree with your ideas, you're not even able to keep your composure and walk the fuck on, because there's a lot of people out here that don't agree with your ideas. Walk the fuck on and keep moving and go about your day. You got to attack this person. Wouldn't have been me. Well, I don't wish, because I don't want any of that violence or anything. I'm good off of that. But I'm good off of that. I'm good off of that. I wouldn't even wish that on me or enemy. Just don't attack people. Just don't do it, because you never know the consequences that could come behind that, man. You never know what could happen to you behind that. Like I said, if you'd attack, a couple of friends I know or something like that, if that transformer would attack a couple of friends I know, they'd have backed out and shot that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Now ain't no more transformers. Optimus Prime going. You know what I mean? They'd have backed out and stabbed that motherfucker. Now you got a hole. Now you got a hole where your engine block should be. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I don't agree with them touching this sign. You're on a college campus. Leave that shit alone. And the whoever it is, the dean of the campus, you need to I'm putting that message out. Hey, I don't give a fuck if you disagree with it or not. It's not for you. It's not your property. It's not yours to touch and mess up. Let us find out that you messed it up, and you're going to have repercussions on this campus. And that would have been the end of that. And let somebody do it. And I'm sticking on that. It's going to be repercussions. I'm sticking on that. I'm not saying you necessarily going to get expelled from school. That would be like the extreme, but it's going to be something. It's going to be something.
Inspired acts.
And then she hit the camera. Just no impulse control.
Of course, none of them had any intention of sitting down and, talking.
There you go. There you go. Got the police out there.
It's much easier to yell racist and scurry off. Of course, they didn't necessarily represent the majority. There were plenty of students who did want to sit down for some face-to-face time. So many, in fact, that we couldn't begin to get to all of them. Plenty of them were genuinely productive conversations. Others were not. My mom is French-Canadian. My woman is Latina.
Your woman?
My woman, my lady, my missus.
Belongs to you.
And, let me know in the comments, which kind of conversation do you prefer watching in this series? Hit the like button while you're at it. We are now on with...
Well, you can face forward, but I got to hold the mic up because we've had people try and run off with the mic too, so I got to hold it.
Okay.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Savannah.
Savannah, nice to meet you, Savannah. Let me ask you, how familiar are you, if at all, with kind of this installment, this series?
Not at all, actually.
Ocean, Dallas, waterfront property, which doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's not possible. So let me explain to you kind of, just so we're not talking past each other. Let me first tell you kind of what it's not. It's not gotcha, scoring points, dunking, clips, which I know we see a lot online. This was actually created about a decade ago to be sort of the anti-cable news, where people can actually have conversations that you don't see in media, where hopefully they're done in good faith, and it's, of course, used in its entire context. We never edit it out of context. So, and obviously, however you want to have the conversation, that's up to you, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm here for a constructive conversation.
Okay.
I don't think that I can change your mind, and I don't think that you can change my mind, although I'd like to see you try.
That's fair. Well, you're sitting down to change my mind, so, but we'll see. Sometimes people are surprised. So today's conversation, yep, wholesale, I support deporting all illegal aliens in this country, certainly in 2025. I think it's imperative for a multitude of reasons. And if you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind, Savannah.
Okay, well, how do you feel about the ways that current deportations are being handled across the country?
Support it.
You support, like, the racial profiling and possibly the arrest of U.S. citizens?
So I don't know of a single U.S. citizen who's been deported.
No, I didn't say deported. I said being detained because
Sure.
their citizenship is being questioned.
Well, let me ask you this. If someone matches the profile, for example, of a hit and run, and you're detained and questioned, and they find out it's not you, is that a violation of your rights?
No, but...
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. And at least I give her, she said no. But, you know what I mean? But he made an excellent point right there. And that's what people are saying. Oh, you know, citizens are being detained. Citizens aren't being deported. That I've only heard of maybe 1 or 2 cases where citizens matched whatever it was, and they put them in the, take them to wherever they took them to the holding cell. And then once they found out they was a citizen, they let them go. Yeah, I get it. 4 hours of your day went by. 6 hours a day went by. Who knows? You might have had to go to work and stuff like that. But at least they let you go. I'm telling work the second I get out, hey, ICE detained me because they said I matched something, blah, blah, blah. But they found out I'm a citizen. They let me go. That's why I wasn't at work today or whatever. It might have been some other plans. God forbid it wasn't something like, your child's birthday or something like that, But either way, they let you go and you're still fine. That's the only 2 cases I've heard of. So just like if the police detain you for a second to figure out who the suspect actually is, and then they let you go, that's not infringing on your rights. They're trying to find out who the suspect actually is, who the murderer, who the hit and run guy actually was.
The deportations that are happening across the country are going a little more deeper than that. And unfortunately, that seemed to be a very surface level example.
Sure, I understand why you would say that. And if that was the only way we're deporting people, sure, I don't have a problem with it. But it's not. So let me ask you, are you against all of the methods of deporting people right now? Like, how do you think we should do it?
Well, that's actually the question I had for you, considering that you're hosting this event.
You can't answer a question with a question. He asked you the question first. Why don't you just answer it? I don't remember because I watched this video last night if she answered it or not. So let's see.
How do you think that deportations across the country should be handled? Because when I think of deportations, I'm thinking of the mass roundups that have been happening, and then the detainment, I forget what it's called, Alcatraz or something, that was in Florida.
Yeah, alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah, so that's what I think. So I was just wondering how you think that the deportation should be handled.
Yeah, alligator Alcatraz was for some of the worst offenders, violent offenders. Let me ask you this, before we get to that, do you believe that we should deport illegal aliens?
I think it's a very situational occurrence.
Okay.
I find myself disagreeing with the mass deportations that are happening, which is why I wanted to come here today and ask you what your definition of illegal is and who fits that criteria.
Someone who's come to this country illegally. Anyone.
So anyone who doesn't have paperwork.
Yeah, anyone who is in this country illegally, who committed the crime, the misdemeanor of coming to this country illegally, or visa overstays, which make up a percentage that, yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I don't think that that's one of those scenarios where it's gray. You're either a legal citizen or you're not. So I support deporting all illegal aliens at this point. Which ones would you support deporting? I guess would be my question to you. And then how should we do that?
Well, the question really comes back to how we're...
No. The question was, do you support and how do you think we do that? Don't answer a question with a question. I hate when people do that. Answer the question and then move on.
How we go about deporting necessarily. So
Okay.
I think, because I mean, ultimately there has to be a solution. There's a solution for everything, especially in politics and things like that.
Sometimes.
I would like to say so. I would like to say that there would ultimately be a solution here.
Yeah.
So.
But do you mean a solution that you're okay with, or do you mean it? Because sometimes the solution is not a pretty one.
Well, I was raised by Southern people.
Okay.
So we think that, what's it called? You know that you've come to a good conclusion when both parties feel like they're being screwed over.
Yeah, compromise is when no one's happy,
Yes.
Something like that. That's how we say it in the Northeast, but same thing, yeah.
The only thing I got to disagree with what they just said is Steven Crowder saying he's from the Northeast. You're from the northeast. Bruh, you're from Detroit. Ain't nowhere in Detroit ever been called the Northeast. No. I'm from Jersey. That's the Northeast. And we would say that saying a little bit more harsher. You know, might have a curse in it. But that's the only thing I would disagree with him. Nah, you're from Detroit. That's the Midwest, bro.
Yes.
You're much more polite in the South. I was raised by French Canadians. Horrible, horrible people. But same sentiment.
So it's interesting that you say that you were raised by French Canadians. And I mean, does that also... It's interesting to think that you're raised by French Canadians, yet you still support deporting all illegal.
Why is that interesting?
All right, before they go into that, because I've heard that sentiment before myself. My mother is Jamaican, born in Jamaica, moved up here when she was about 9, actually. I know the exact time and everything. But hold on. All right, we gotta make this quick because I gotta do something. But anyway, my mother was born in Jamaica, moved up here when she was 9, right? Moved up here with her brother, her sister, and her mom and her dad, which is my grandparents. So I've heard people say, you know, how could you feel that way about illegal immigrants and stuff like that? Blah, blah, blah. Well, one, before they moved up here, they had already applied for citizenship and obtained it. They had the proper permits and documents that came in here. They're all now legalized citizens and everything. They were legalized citizens already. They had the documents before they came up in here. So, and I remember this is back around when Bush was in office. This is like in the early 2000s. There was something going on where she needed those documents. And I remember her reaching out to my grandmother and talking about it. My grandma sent up all these old ass documents that I ain't never seen from back in the 70s and shit like that they had applied for and got it all legalized and everything like that. And yeah, it was no problem, no issue. And if you want to ask my mom, she's with deporting illegals too, because they came here legally. They value the fact that they left their country where they weren't doing so hot, was able to come up here, make money to support their family and take care of themselves and put their kids in a better situation. They valued that. So they made sure that they did everything right. And when they came here, they wasn't fucking up. They wasn't getting into crimes. They wasn't doing gang shit. They wasn't selling drugs. You know what I mean? They wasn't murdering people. They wasn't doing hit and runs. They made sure they kept everything square. They kept everything solid because they understand they valued the opportunity that they were given. You know, the people nowadays don't value the opportunity. They just believe they should have it. That's the entitlement thing. No, it's an opportunity to get it. Now, people like to say, this is a different point, but I'll just finish it right now. People like to say that, what about the citizens that are committing crimes? What about the citizens that are committing crimes? They're the citizens. They're here. They're in this country legally. If they go commit a crime, hey man, they can go commit a crime. But it's one whole another thing when you come in this bitch illegally and you're out here getting CDLs and then crashing into 4 or 5 people because you can't read the fucking signs because you don't know English.
Because you would think that if you're being raised by someone who isn't from this country, maybe you would have a more open mindset.
Oh, I think.
See, she feels that way. You know what?
You have a very open mindset. I was born in Detroit. My dad's American. My mom is French Canadian.
And that changes everything right there. Once he said his dad is American. Go ahead.
She now lives in the States. She's very proud. Has gone through the process. Loves America. Speaks the language. Pays taxes. Contributes. My woman is Latina.
Your woman?
My woman, my lady, my missus.
She belongs to you.
Yeah, she likes, I don't know if you know these Latina women, they love a little bit of possessiveness, but I say it.
See, that's that white woman shit, and that's their relationship and that feminist shit because nobody else in the fucking world has an issue with that. He said that to actually other people on this show, and nobody else had an issue with it. So, you know, that's that feminism bullshit. Yes, you know what I mean? Once we got married, once you decided you wanted to be in this relationship, yes, you're mine. You're my woman. Now you have free will and you can leave this bitch at any time you want to. You know what I mean? I don't mean to keep somebody here that don't want to be here. But as long as you're here, you're my chick. It is what it is.
As a term of endearment, she went through the naturalization process. I fell in love with her when I saw a picture of her.
Mainly because, you know what I mean? Possessive. That's my woman. Yeah, like we're talking about here.
With her, she was actually going through the process of a picture for the Statue of Liberty and a MAGA flag that she had. And both of them actually are far more aggressive than I am in deporting illegal aliens because they appreciate the citizenship. They appreciate being a part of this great country.
Yeah,
so I don't really think that that's inconsistent. As a matter of fact, I think it's the rule, not the exception. But going back to the question, who would you deport then? Who would you deem acceptable? What's your term as far as, I guess, if you disagree with the legal definition of an illegal alien? And then how would we do it?
Unfortunately, you've just asked me like 3 questions.
Okay.
Which one would you like to
Who
answer
should be
first?
deported, and how should we do it?
Let me think. I guess I've never considered who I would deport if I was king of the world.
Not if you were king of the world. You were president of the United States.
Which people would I get rid of first, I guess?
No,
Well, I mean, if we go way back in history, because obviously if we don't study history, then we're doomed to repeat it.
Sure.
If we're talking about the colonial era and how, you know, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and all of those things, my question would be, who can be illegal on stolen land?
Oh, okay. So you're saying that no one is here legally?
All right, I'm going to answer that. It is stolen land, 100%. They should give it back to us. Me, why I said us, because I've done my genealogy and my history. And as far as my name go back, it comes back to the Carolinas. Like before it was considered the US of A. So that means we was here first. So that means, and I also know my tribe and everything. And I know my tribe was one of the tribes that were invaded. And I know the history of it. So if you want to do that, we give it back to us and the other ones that call themselves Native Americans. And that would mean she would have to get out, and her family. He's born in this America. But since we're not talking about that, let's talk about this country, since it's established that it's America and citizens, you know. If you're not here legally, you have to go, you know. Once we determine that we're going to live in this system and you have to have some legality, you have to be here, you have to have a number here, you have to come have some type of documentation to show that you belong here, you should have that. You should be here. But if you don't have that, you have to go. Simple as that.
Well, no, I'm not saying that no one's here legally. I'm saying how can people be illegal on land that didn't belong to them in the first place?
But it doesn't also belong to those people that are coming in. So then your point is null and void in that point. Null and void in that point. Like it doesn't belong either to the people that are coming in here illegally.
So who does the land belong to? And I still do want to get to the point here where you said there's a solution to everything. To do that, you do have to live in the real world, obviously. And right now it's 2025, and you have a disagreement with deportation. You said, well, I don't think we can do it. I don't remember your words, wholesale. We need to determine who. So I think it's a fair question to say, who should be deported and how would you do it? The solution isn't going to be this is all stolen land and give it back. I don't know if you've been to a...
You know, he's asked that question 3 times. 3 times. Who should be deported? How would you do it? She hasn't answered it not one time. She keeps coming back with a question on her own.
Native American reservation lately. I don't think anyone would like that. And I don't think that's what they're asking for either. But who would you deport and how would you do it? And then we can see where we differ.
Unfortunately, I don't think that anyone should be deported unless maybe someone's being extradited back to a country of origin.
Okay.
So saying if someone has committed a crime in maybe the UK or something, maybe they, the people who robbed, what's it called, the Louvre, and they stole all the crowns and tiaras.
Yeah, I know. I still can't believe that happened. You're like, how do you not catch these people?
It was like an Ocean's 11.
It really was.
But I would say, unfortunately, I don't think that anyone deserves to be reported unless they're being extradited back to their country of origin because they are committing crimes in their country of origin and they are escaping because they don't want to face imprisonment.
What if they're committing crimes here?
I think that the term that comes to mind is that America is a country, a third world country with a Gucci belt. So if we have enough funding to say, maybe deport all of these illegal people, then why don't we have enough money to fix our justice system?
Yeah, and this is one of the things where people just move the goalposts or present a red herring. I do want to stay on.
I told y'all I'm still gonna buy a little goalpost, and I'm gonna get that when I'm watching debates and stuff, and they start moving it.
Topic. I think we need to fix the justice system as well. But going to this, you see, there's a solution for everything. Illegal aliens not only commit crimes, and that's why I brought it up at a much higher rate than native-born citizens. They also cost the taxpayer $150 to $450 billion a year. It is a serious problem, and obviously you know about our debt and our deficit. So how do we deal with this problem? Or it sounds to me like you're saying you wouldn't even deport people who've come here illegally, that's a crime, and are committing extra crimes while here. You wouldn't deport those people?
No, I don't think I would, actually. I think that the prison system here in America is well equipped to maybe handle the reformation of those citizens.
No.
But I think that when your only option is to escape a country, when you're...
that's putting more on the taxpayers. We putting the illegals in prison, the taxpayers still that's putting more on the taxpayers.
Seeking political asylum, it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the entire world to obtain citizenship before you go to the country that you want to be in.
Yeah, but why are they entitled to go to any country they want?
Why is anyone entitled to live in it?
Well, all countries, I don't know if you're aware, they all have borders and they all have laws.
Yes,
and becoming a citizen.
I'm aware that
Mexico is far, actually, we have one of the most lenient policies out there. In Mexico, you can't even own waterfront property.
Well, yeah, in Mexico that you can't own guns either, and that's where the cartel has a lot of control.
That's a good point.
What I'm saying
it's true. You disarm the citizens, you end up emboldening the worst of society. And a lot of those people, I'm sure you know this, are invigorated and emboldened by the human trafficking that goes on. Even people coming here seeking a better life, they have to go through coyotes, and a lot of them don't make it here. There are more slaves on Earth. If we go that route of open borders, there are more slaves on Earth now than ever in human history. Did you know that?
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah, and a big part of them are sex slaves. And they thrive under open borders policies. Sorry, the sun.
It's the sun reflecting off of that car. Sorry.
It's not as though there's no net laws if it's $150 to $450 billion a year to the American taxpayer. Make the case to the struggling American right now who's paying taxes out the wazoo, that someone who comes here pays no taxes, shares nothing in common with the culture, language, commits crimes, according to your definition here, should still be allowed to stay and be supported by their tax dollars. Make that case, because that actually is, if we're going to come up with a solution, you need to make that case. Those are the people who are voting. It's
very interesting that you've mentioned multiple times about speaking the language. It's almost as if you demean people for not being fluent in English. I'm curious to see are you fluent in the language that your lady spoke?
So I speak French.
Yes.
She speaks Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Yes.
But she hates it when people are here in this country and don't speak English. And my mom is French, and she hates it when people here don't speak English, because my mom came here from... Well, it's an irrelevant question. So let's have you answer one question. Just one.
I have said that.
So you wouldn't deport criminals. So let me ask you this. Why should the American taxpayer keep footing the bill for current criminals who are also illegal aliens? Those are the people who are affected.
Well, it's almost as if that you're insinuating that illegal citizens do not pay taxes at all, because you can receive employment here in the United States. There's a little checkbox that you have to put on job applications.
I didn't say that, but go ahead with this trail. I never said that none of them pay taxes.
Well, it's interesting the way that you phrase it, because it's almost insinuating that illegal citizens don't pay taxes.
I would say
they don't pay taxes. You're gonna have to show me an illegal citizen that pays taxes. It doesn't even make sense, because how? You have to have a Social Security card. There's an employment number. you have to have some type of documents in order to get taxes. And also it's illegal to employ illegal aliens. So if they're employing you, they're usually going to pay you under the table, and they're going to give you a low wage, not a livable wage. It's barely, some jobs barely make it easier for American citizens to live. So imagine them getting paid less than that and them still trying to live. I mean, how would that work? You know, you would have to show me somebody who is an illegal alien and is paying taxes, because I haven't seen one. So that just sounds like a talking point, because I haven't met one, or I haven't even heard a story of one that was illegal paying taxes here. But yeah, so you would have to show me that. I would have to actually see that, like some documentation, some paperwork or something like that. But I don't believe that any of them are paying taxes. You would have to show me.
It's interesting the way you interpret it, because what I said is they cost the American taxpayer 150 to 450 billion. Now I could tell you, provide you the reference if you want to take these with you so you don't have to take my word for it, that there's about that's including the 17% offset of taxes that are paid from illegal aliens. So even including that number, it's 150 to 450 billion dollars. Whether they all pay taxes or very few of them pay taxes is irrelevant. It's a net cost. There'd be no way of tracking it.
It's irrelevant. So
150 to 450 billion. Why should Americans pay for it?
I'm finding that your argument is very circular. So realistically, I'm realizing that there is no way to change your mind unless you are willing to break the cycle that is your circular argument.
Right. So what would break that is about the language that I speak privately with my woman in my house.
Right.
Well, I mean, you referenced earlier that I was moving the goalpost. I was whatever. I'm a social work major here at the University of Oklahoma.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry?
I said fantastic. Good. Thank you for the work.
I am just trying to understand where your opinion comes from, because that's what we do.
Sure.
Social science is understanding how you can... Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Social science is understanding how...
You can bat it around like a cat toy. Just don't take it with you.
Yeah, it's very tempting. I should have you sign it on the side. But I apologize. I got derailed there for a second. But social science is based on understanding where your opinion comes from.
Sure.
And it takes a certain amount of intelligence to understand why you believe what you believe.
So why do you think you don't understand it?
Because your argument is very circular.
Okay, explain to me how it's circular.
Because it seems as if you're not willing to... When I said that, it's almost as if that you were insinuating that no one who is an illegal citizen is paying taxes.
Yeah.
You immediately brought up statistics saying, well, there is the 17%.
No, I said because you were mischaracterizing what I said. I never said that. So if you're a social worker, shouldn't you also... Let's say someone comes in and needs help. If they say, hey, I have a problem because, I don't know, I'm being recruited for this gang and I'm in a neighborhood, and if I don't, it's going to be dangerous to me. And you go, okay, but what I'm hearing you saying is your entire neighborhood is nothing but a gang. And he goes, no, that's not what I'm saying. No, I said the net cost to taxpayers is 150 to 450 billion dollars a year.
As a person and achieve a productive conversation. I can have a conversation with you, but I don't have to agree with you.
Of course.
But it seems very disrespectful when you continue dominating the conversation, and I don't get a chance to do what I came here to do.
Okay.
I'm going to stop this because it's probably going to be a two-part, and I'm going to come back to this again, but she's just annoying me because she is doing all these attacks on him, but not answering the question, doesn't have anything to say. She may say no or yes. And then, but what about this? How could it be with this? Like, you can't talk to somebody like that. That is just horrible. But I'm going to come back, and it's going to be a second live. Not going to be today, probably going to be tomorrow, something like that, when I got some more time. And y'all take it easy, man. Peace. Y'all be safe out there. And I'm going to come back with this debate again. It's your boy Sav. I'm out of here.